What's happening, everybody, and welcome back to the True Gamer Podcast, a podcast hosted by two gamers for you, the true gamers. I'm one of your hosts, Eddie, along with my bro, the inverted gamer himself, Sheps. How's it going, bro?
It's going good. Why have I got my headphones in? It's going good.
That is a good question.
It's going good.
It's almost like you're preparing, right? Get the headphones.
Yeah, I was just like, I can ignore this. Oh wait, swearing. This is our channel. We can't swear on this one.
No, bleep.
Totally different guy.
Eddie in the future. There's going to be a bleep there.
The dolphin thing. We should. Yeah, it's going good. I saw. I've converted Ben to playing inverted. He has 100% realized the superiority of this playstyle. Although he's not 100% inverted. He had the controller the right way inverted.
Right.
But it was just back to front. The analog stick is supposed to play.
I was going to say, so he was playing like this. You're saying he needs to play like that.
No.
Oh, like that.
Like that.
There you go.
There
This
you
face
go.
down as well.
Yeah.
Any of you guys out there planning to be an apprentice inverted gamer, this is how you play.
I mean, he's entry-level inversion, right?
Exactly.
Fair enough.
There you go.
Yeah.
So he's still an apprentice. Yeah. Don't worry about it. You've got a lot to learn. A lot to learn.
How's it going, man? How are you? What are you playing?
Mate, I'm doing good. I mean, over the last time we spoke, I did finish Days Gone. I got the Platinum Trophy. No big deal. Just a epic gamer over here. I'm just
you have an illness.
Right, it's fine. It's cool.
You have an illness. I don't even care about the plat stuff. Just the amount you've played. How many times have you played Days Gone?
I played it twice. I'd say twice fully.
Okay.
Like there was a bit where I dabbed into it and I left it.
You were also
again.
considering buying it on PC to support.
I was just like, oh my god, but this game's gonna look good and to support the studio that I really like. So do I buy it on PC again?
It will look even better on that. And then obviously you watch Justice League 17 times.
Got to support Zaki. You know, my boy. That's what I call him.
Zaki. Yeah, that's how you address each other.
Exactly.
Right. So you have an issue. What are you playing?
So I played that. And after that I sort of took a chill. I took a chill break, and then I played yesterday on stream Bloodborne.
Yes, you did. Glitchy game.
Very glitchy game with up to 35 glitches now.
Something like that.
From software, you need to work it out.
Come on, guys.
Before you guys get to Elden Ring, sort this out.
Right.
But Bloodborne is great, right? And we've mentioned this in the last podcast. It's
a great game to play with friends, apparently.
Oh, forget.
I really think, because I watched you guys try and figure it out, and now that you have it down, almost every single time you got at least either Katie or Sean in. I do think you should make a little tutorial for that, because there will be like 1,000 people that want to know that. It's worth doing.
I don't even know myself how it's being done. Katie sort of figured it out, so I'm going to have to ask her.
Ask her and then take credit.
Take full credit.
That's how we do it.
We're playing the game. It's good fun, and it's great to get that endorphin hit. Anyone who plays like Dark Souls, Bloodborne know this endorphin hit when you beat the boss and you get that after many hours of being beaten down by this fire salamander. I've now triumphed over him. It feels fantastic.
Yeah.
But it just slows down the momentum when you have to wait every single time in between for this crappy co-op system to go.
You hear a ringing bell.
And there's the resonance of a small moment. I was like, for fuck's sake.
It was interesting because it took you a few attempts.
Yes.
You found many glitches.
Yes.
I think you did actually genuinely spend more time waiting to get the people in than fighting the boss. I think if you did just fought the boss and respawned, started again, it probably would have taken it from. It was like a 2.5 hour stream. Take the last 15 minutes because that was a boss. The first 15 minutes because you're just chatting. So 2 hour stream, and I think you probably would have done it in half an hour. Maybe an hour.
I don't know. It's difficult because there's a whole other side to it, and only people who play the game might know this, because like when one person's attacking, it gets the attention of the boss. So then the boss turns around. That's when you can attack its legs, and then it turns around again, and so you can attack the other person can attack the legs. Whereas when it's you have to go around and give one slash, but then it flips around. And you're like, okay, go back round again.
If it didn't take you so long, if it was just you died, and then Kay let herself die, and you reset. And you weren't waiting to continuously get in the same thing. Perhaps. I think it would have taken you the two of you. If it was just the two of you playing in a regular party system,
I misunderstood.
I think it would have taken you and Katie, or you and Sean, or the three of you, half an hour to 45 minutes.
All that fluff in between of just waiting.
Instead, it took about 2 hours because most of it was trying to get you guys in, then the random guy gets in, then this isn't happening, so we'll get an NPC. That seemed frustrating.
Yeah.
But what
have you been up to?
Well, I was going to finish Cyberpunk because I haven't actually finished it.
You said actually, it's like, how about, I think I might finish Cyberpunk, so that didn't work out.
That didn't work out because I wanted to watch you beat this thing.
Just cut myself.
Oh my god, I was getting so heated in the Twitch chat, twitch.tv/conversations. I was literally like, so many times I was like, just let them do all you have to do is nothing. Because multiple attempts, and the big thing is because there was the big wait between getting in again to get the party up. It was like plenty of times all you had to do was step back, but you ran in because you wanted to do damage, which I get.
I'm like,
and you just ran into the boss and he murks you, and I'm like, no.
There was one time, and I think everyone caught this one, where like I got hit by something and all my health had gone, but somehow I held on with the skin of my teeth. And I was like, oh my god, that's so... Quickly hit a vial, hit another vial so I'm full health. Yeah. And then I had to flick the camera back and immediately he's there in my face. I'm like, oh, don't... And it kills me right there. It's the fun of Bloodborne.
Yeah,
guys.
it's the fun. The game looks fun.
Exactly.
Fun to play with friends. So I was going to play Cyberpunk, but I opted to suffer through your thing.
Oh, thank you so much for the support there, bro.
Yeah. I hate you more now than I did before. I have been meaning to actually play Cyberpunk and play it again because I do think there's a really good game in there. Yeah. And things like the Pan Am romance was so incredible. And now that stuff has been fixed, and those little bugs, although I found most of the bugs that I found kind of funny. I
don't even know if they have been fixed. I've stayed completely away from it just because of how it made me feel. I've still got it. I haven't sold it, but
I don't know
if it has been fixed. So people have to tell me about it.
I would love for it to end up being a good game, but then kind of become like a meme collectible. Right. Like it was like the best game after it was the worst game that ever came out, but ended up being okay, but no one's played it because it sucked so hard.
It's a part of history.
Yeah, it's part of CDPR's. It's like all these great Witcher. Oh god, and then Cyberpunk 3 or whatever. Like so I do want to play it. I think there's probably a good game hidden in there, but I can't seem to. The big thing for me is that I can't seem to find that I'm drawn back to it. Yeah. Which even like Wames, who says he hates AC, keeps finding himself drawn back to play it, right?
Oh man, I hate AC. What shall I play tonight? Well, I guess I'll play some AC.
Right. I think that's the big, like, even if the game was bad, like we've played games that you couldn't say are good but you enjoy. Yeah. And it doesn't have that thing to it. I don't know. I enjoyed Fallen Order, and my version of it sucked. Well, it was your disc actually. But I really liked the game. I would tell people to play it, despite the fact they had every glitch, plus a few that you didn't know about were in the game. But I enjoyed it, and I felt called back to play it. And maybe it's Star Wars, like lightsabers and space wizards and stuff. But I haven't had that same vibe. I don't know. I don't know. I'm looking for something to play. Oh, and then eventually I'm going to get back to streaming Ghost of Tsushima. We'll blast through that.
Obviously,
before Ratchet and Clank.
You need to get Ghost of Tsushima needs to be played again.
In fact, when is that? Near Replicant coming out.
Oh yeah, is it out?
It might be out.
I think I saw Jazz post that he got it.
Yeah, it might be out. Because I was gonna tell people that they could vote on what we play next on stream between now and Ratchet and Clank. Right. But then I decided I don't care what you think, and I'm gonna play.
And it's all Ghost of Tsushima from here on out. Okay, guys.
Yeah, we're just the Ghost of Tsushima channel. 22nd of April. So soon.
Okay. Today. Yeah, 22nd.
Yeah. So I might play that. I'm not sure because I haven't played Nier or any of that stuff. I'll probably put out a tweet today, and you guys can decide, and then we'll decide.
Put Vajankal as one of those.
Yeah, of course.
Everyone will vote for that.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what I want to see play with.
Talking of what people vote for,
yes.
The only people
I thought you were going to say talking of sex toys or things you put inside you or something.
No, definitely not. Wrong podcast for that. The only people whose opinions actually matter,
yes,
are the incredible Super Bros over on patreon.com/conversations.
Makes us sound so bad.
Who make all of our content across both of our channels and the flagship show on FPN Streamcast happen, and our Twitch, twitch.tv/conversations. You guys make it happen. Who do we have to thank?
We have Diogo Dildo, Isak the Ultimate Cumsock, Carol of Rivia, aka Casper the Friendly Patron, Record Friction, Dan the Man, Jeremy Renner, that's right, an official Avenger, Martin Scorsese's Master Hbartz 12, the Midget Aloy from Smallville Sabine, the former freeloader Christian, Master Chief himself, Albiscori, Super Sus Ben Fryer, who is a clone of Eddie, the Star Wars Encyclopedia, Adam Sunling, Raj Vanderlin. You need to follow him on one last plan, guys. He has one last job.
He's got a plan, guys.
He's got a plan,
for one last job.
Sheps has got this, guys. Don't worry about it. And the filthy FIFA fanatic, Joe McCormack. Thank you, bro, so much for keeping the lights and mics on and the gaming going here at Congratulations.
That's right.
Next week we have some special stuff we're gonna be announcing. I'm gonna tease it and I'm gonna leave it like that so you guys can ponder what it could be. We're replacing Sheps. That's what's happening.
Thank God. I'm finally free.
Your prayers have been answered.
Make a wish, Al. Make a wish. No.
No, so we're going to be announcing some cool stuff. Stay tuned for that. There'll also be an episode of the Conversations podcast going up, and that's where we'll be saying our stuff, as well as telling people on Twitter, because that's Patreon exclusive.
We will tell you guys, I will say, because it is only like $1 a month to get access to the Combos podcast on Patreon. You might want to do it just to see, because you will get to see exactly what we do with your Patreon money.
Yes.
Which, like, when we don't, like, with a specific goal, we'll build like a streaming rig, because we do need it, right?
Yeah.
Then left unsupervised, this is what we'll do.
So tune in to find out what happened to your hard-earned money.
Yeah, it'll be good fun, but we won't tell you any more on
exactly.
that. Yeah.
Now that we one other thing I wanted to bring up before we get into like the meat of all the topics and stuff like that, what are your hype levels for Returnal?
Ooh, that's an interesting question.
Because it's a new game that's coming out at the end of this month, the same time that Pokemon Snap is coming out, guys, 30th of April.
Yeah, it's unfortunately being overshadowed by a much bigger game.
Exactly. Let's be honest, I'm getting both of them, by the way, so this is really, really going to be hard for me. I'm like, and I genuinely like that for me.
I'm really surprised that you even are considering Returnal with Snap, because I know that for both of us, Snap's like got a soft spot in our hearts. Yeah. So the idea that you're even considering Returnal, which might be an incredible game, I hope it is.
I'll tell you why I'm kind of considering. So what are your hype levels now before I say anything?
I would say I'm an easy 6, maybe a 7. I want to know more about it. Yeah. I don't know if I am going to stretch to buying it, because of like where I'm set. Like I'm definitely getting Ratchet and Clank, I know for sure. Apparently God of War and Horizon are coming out this year. Doubt, heavy doubt. My X button's worn out with doubt.
Extra doubt, yeah.
But I'm saving £140, $70 each,
right.
70 quid each for them, just in case, and potentially Nier and Mass Effect.
Yes.
So I don't know if I can budget in another game personally. But I'm keen to find out more about it, and it's got some very interesting, like everything we see from it, I get more and more interested in what they're doing with it. And
exactly the way that they've built it up, it's like it started off and it was like Returnal. It's a game from Housemarque, the guys that made Resogun back on the PS4. And you're like,
Resogun go into this.
Resogun is going to be like, it was like a side-scrolling, almost like a 3D sort of thing.
It's like
cool.
Alien Invaders or Asteroid or something.
And it's like, no, this is a third-person, fast-paced shooter. And we're like, and then immediately, how did you get from that to that?
And also, when I hear like fast-paced shooter, I don't think third person. I think first person.
Exactly.
So I'm like, okay, that's kind of, I think
a weird one there.
A bit strange.
And then we saw some imagery of it, and it's like this woman. She has 2 colored eyes.
Yeah.
She's in a spacesuit.
Yeah.
And then
we've
there's
got Dead Space vibes, but then it's got this weird like. Then you see a regular like. The Kent farm from an alien world.
There's like an alien world, and then there's almost like a Kent farm / Silent Hill type room. There's like a horror element to it. Then there's like these weird aliens that are firing these energies out of you. You've got weapons. There's apparently a respawn system in it. And I'm like, it got so much more like, okay, there's stuff in here.
How are they going to connect these dots? It feels to me like I'm at a similar hype, probably higher, as to what I thought medium could be for the Xbox.
Yes, me too.
And I'm a little bit concerned that there's going to be a parallel. Well, it will come out and it'll just be like,
It's possible. It's very possible.
And worse, I think worse than a game being bad is if it's just
Yeah, especially when you put at least this much emphasis into it, right? It's being pushed by PlayStation, stuff like that. Today we found out a bit more information about in terms of technical stuff. So apparently it's going to be running at full 4K, 60 frames per second.
Nice.
With ray tracing.
Okay. Well, on PS5?
On PS5.
Okay.
It's going to have full DualSense.
I don't know why I'm shocked with that. The PS5 is a fucking monster. Oh, I'm swearing again. We just came off Streamcast, so
it's past the first 30 seconds, so it's not so bad, but still, it's... We try not to, so we can... full DualSense support. So I've seen a video online of when it's raining in the game, you get different haptic feels on the controller. Full 3D audio support as well, which when you get to that horror element is gonna be
nightmare feel.
Exactly. And apparently it's got a lot of like Alien/Prometheus vibes in certain areas.
I did get that. I'm a big Alien fan.
Super cool.
Yeah.
I got recently more hyped for it, and so much so that I've pre-ordered it.
Okay.
And I'm looking forward to it. You guys can. What I want to try and do is two things. One, I stream a bit of it on day one.
Yeah.
As like for all new games that come out, and two, us play a little bit of a game first of all, and make like an edited version.
Yeah.
As for all new games that come out, hopefully may miss some, but I want to try and do that.
Interesting ones at least. Yeah.
Exactly, stuff that people want to know about.
Yeah.
And then afterwards, like a week down the line, we can give our impressions on it or something like that. So you can expect to see that when it comes out. But cool. I wanted to judge your hype levels now that you've heard all the extra stuff that I've told you. A little bit more excited for it.
Yeah, for sure.
Because it's like a full PlayStation game now, right?
Yeah, that's pretty amazing. The thing that's really stupid is all of my hype for that just transitioned into, because I mentioned Dead Space, a potential new Dead Space, which there's no news for, but I'm just thinking, wouldn't it be great to play Dead Space with all the PS5 integration, even though I'm not a horror fan? But I do love that franchise. I do, which is so weird because I hate horror, and sci-fi is the worst because you can't get outside.
No.
You're like stuck. You're in a bottle with the thing. I'm also an Alien fan. What about that? You know that Alien game where the xenomorph's chasing you? What's that called? Alien
Isolation.
Isolation.
Yes.
That, but with 3D audio and haptic.
I was scared shitless from that game anyway.
No,
that would be a whole new level of crap.
That'd be so good, right? Talking of gaming,
yes.
This, of course, is the True Gamer podcast.
I looked over here. I don't know why there's no camera over there. Why am I?
Well, there's True Gaming over there. There's
Henry Cavill,
Henry Chadville, and Cyberpunk things, because those are like just hidden behind stuff. Because
I'm rearranging my office. I took them all down from the thing over there. I'm sure someone's going to be like, Eddie's given up on Cyberpunk. That's that.
He's given up.
I'm going to sell my chair.
Doesn't
soon.
your thing still say making Cyberpunk content?
So this is the funny thing. I changed it slightly. Didn't tell anybody. It said making Cyberpunk content for the longest time before Cyberpunk came out, and someone mentioned it to me maybe like a month ago. Said, Eddie, I think it's time to change your status, but I'd forgotten about it, and now I changed it to not making Cyberpunk content.
I got one for you, which you can change now before this goes up.
Go on.
Making Cyberpunk contempt.
Oh, here we go.
There you go.
There we go, guys. He's got it.
It's a wordplay, you know, boys. That's why subscribe. Talking of subscribing,
yes,
this, the True Gamer podcast, is brought to you. It was made possible. It's specifically requested. I say requested. Demanded.
We had no choice.
We didn't.
We were forced into this.
We were forced.
Against our will.
Those helpful people on patreon.com/conversations at the $5 tier, the true gamers that make this podcast in particular happen. Those soulless kidnapping bastards are
Jeremy Horde, Sab2557, Record Friction, Real Kermit Cinema, Adam Sunling, Dan Dano, Isak Manny, Katzber Coral, Doc Nutella, The Snyder Cut is objectively the best comic book movie, Albie Scory, Joe, I said super, sorry, I don't know what I'm saying, Joe McCormack, Tim Allen is a cunt, Benedict Clobber, Zack Snyder's son, aka Batfan Fishy, Max H, The Jackal, Cobra SS, and Jack Nicholas. Thank you, bros, so much for keeping the lights and mics on, the gaming going, you true gamers, you legends. Right. And also thank you to our sugar daddies over on Twitch.
Yeah, big thank you to everybody that subscribes or gift subs over on twitch.tv/conversations, our sugar daddies. Thank you, daddy.
Thank you, daddy.
I feel like that really undercuts the true gamers. We're like, oh yeah, thank you guys, it's $5.
We're like, you guys are fucking assholes, but the true daddies.
Yeah, thank the true daddies.
So we love you equally. Daddy. We love you equally.
Yeah, definitely. We don't have favourites.
No, not at all.
What's the first topic?
The first topic Is PlayStation incorporating a video?
I thought you were about to say, is PlayStation making only AAA titles? How do you feel about that? It was like a whole big thing.
We spoke about this thing. Was it? Sorry, I had the page up a second ago and it's all just disappeared.
Professionals.
What the frick just happened with that? Sorry, I'm gonna need to search for that for 1 second again. Do you mind?
While you're doing that, I'm
making
going to
waffling
be
noises.
Waffling noises. What does a waffle sound like? Everybody search blue waffle. Don't do that. Seriously though, I am going to make a tweet about what we stream next. I still have a good probably 10 to 15 hours of Ghost of Tsushima if I just do the main story, which is unlikely. I will try and do it because I want to get into a game that we haven't played before, like me and everybody. Nier is interesting to me, Nier Replicant, so I'm strongly considering that, but I will make a tweet, and the way it will work is if you see someone on there with a game that you want me to do, I'd like to like their tweet, even though I know you want to say it,
right?
But like if you see, I don't know, I don't want to give like Assassin's Creed. I'm not playing Assassin's Creed. So there you go.
There we
go. Like another game, and not Red Dead either, because Ratchet and Clank's coming out, and we have to schedule like our work, and also we both stream on the same channel, so fitting in the streams in the time frame is going to be tough. So like Nier's on the cards. What other games do we have? You
still haven't played Red Dead, even though that's a really long game. Though.
Yeah, and the big reason I'm not going to play Red Dead is not because it's like a big meaty game. It's because having known Ethan for 5 years, the amount of side content in that game, and I do have an illness, is that I'm not going to just play the main story, right?
Yeah.
I would like a somewhat linear game, like hypothetically, like a Call of Duty campaign, right? Where there's no side content really, like you just play through the missions. Like The Last of Us 2 is not the best example of it, but it's pretty linear. You know, there's not much side content, not much to get lost in. You just play it, right? So something where it's kind of, or Doom is a good example, like Doom, where there's not a huge amount of exploring or side missions to go on, right? You just go, you kill the demons, or you go, you kill the zombies.
The amount that Nirok plays, you'd think there would be a lot, though.
Right. So I'm gonna put that tweet out. I'd like to know what you think, and we'll try and pick a game, ideally one we already have.
Yeah.
And
hopefully we get a new series going and whatnot.
Yeah, I probably will finish up Ghost of Tsushima. What I might do if people really want is I'll slap it down to easy and just hardline the campaign so we can get through the story. I'm putting it straight back to hard for all the duels, but other than that,
but you won't do the main story. You'll get distracted. There'll be a fox. There'll be a bird.
True.
There'll be a wind.
There is. Do you know what is true? When one of the what they called the epic legendary tales, whatever they're called, is you get sent to fight like 5 duels, and then you got to fight 6th, which gets you the thing. I killed like 3 of those guys before I found the quest because they're out there, and I'm like, oh, hey, a dueling ring, and I fought 3 of them, and then I was like, I
said there was 6. What's going on?
And then I'm like, oh, hey, you have to fight all these things. So I went to one of the locations, like I already know where you are, hoping he'd respawn for extra duels. No, I killed this guy in one of the duels. Anyway. Did you find what you were looking for?
Yes, I did, and I want to intro this whole thing properly now. So, yes, this is the True Gamer Podcast, guys, coming to your eyes and ears every Saturday here on the youtube.com/Conversations, whichever one it is, and on podcast services around the world. If you guys are here, you want to support us, hit that like button, it helps us out. And if you're on podcast services, rate us 5 stars. It really helps us in lots and lots of ways.
Mate, we remembered to say like the video because it helps us a lot. Before the first hour, before the end of the show, let alone before the first hour, we're professionals. We're getting there, man. We're getting there.
And if you guys want to support us even further, because a lot of you guys do, head over to patreon.com/conversations, where you can get an exclusive podcast, conversation podcast for $1 a month. You can even get this podcast early, a day and a bit early, in fact, sometimes, over and in video form now. I've started putting up in video form for you guys, so you guys can get this podcast early each and every week.
Talking of, just because we're doing the pimping stuff.
Go on.
If you're listening, if you're one of the audio virgins, please do like or rate the podcast 5 stars on your services. That helps us grow
massively.
And if you're not like a Twitch sub or Patreon subscriber and that stuff, like we get it, and you do want to help, liking the video is good, and leaving like an actual comment where you're like, oh, I really like this topic, my favorite bit is this, I like this game for these reasons, I think you should play this, something like that, because Google sees it, YouTube sees it, and says, oh, these guys are like engaging with the content. So you can still help. You can still support us, which is really amazing. So if you want to do that, feel free. And eventually this channel will get monetized, and you can whitelist us on your ad blocks and stuff, or not, whatever. It's your ad block.
It's your life, isn't it?
Yeah.
So our first topic today.
Yeah.
Is PlayStation creating a PlayStation Plus Video Pass service?
Video Pass?
Yes. So, early today, a leaked image popped up on a Polish website, Polish PlayStation website.
This sounds super trustworthy.
No, it's PlayStation's website, the Polish version.
Okay.
Popped up there, and it was this one single image. I'll see if I can remember to put it up at the 26-minute mark, where it's got PlayStation Plus Video Pass.
Yeah.
It looks very legit, and it's got 3 pictures of 3 movies that Sony owns.
Okay.
Venom, Zombieland Double Tap, and Bloodshot with Vin Diesel. And the way that it's pitched, it was only up there for a little bit and it was taken down afterwards. The way that it's pitched is that it's a additional benefit to PlayStation Plus. So it seems like something that you wouldn't have to pay extra for.
Yeah.
Now,
like Amazon Prime Video.
It almost, exactly. And hopefully there isn't like a price hike that comes with it. Now, when that first came out, I was hoping that enough time will go by to tell us what's actually happening with this, what will be confirmed, because the numbers underneath, the little fine print underneath it said that this was going to be a 1-year trial of this service, like a beta, between the 22nd of April to the 22nd of April 2022. And it has officially come out. Now, this is a 1-year service trial that they're trying in Poland at the moment.
Okay.
That's why it came up on the Polish PlayStation website. It looks interesting.
Yeah.
How do you feel about video services being included in your PlayStation Plus subscription? What do you think about all of that?
So I actually don't mind it at all because I do use my PlayStation as the way I consume like Netflix, Amazon Prime Video and stuff with my chick, because it's like set up in the living room. Right. So when I'm not playing games or we want to watch a movie, I fire up the PlayStation. So I'm used to that. I did just Google, because I wasn't sure about how many Sony titles. I know, obviously we know Spider-Man and stuff like that, Venom, but like how many do they actually have? Yeah. Apparently Sony Pictures has 283 titles.
Okay. Do you have the list of like any cool names there? You got anything?
Well, so the list is pretty long, and this is unfortunately chronological. I would rather
like sales or views.
Oh, let me just Google like highest grossing
best Sony picture movies or something like that.
So they have the new Jumanji, Welcome to the Jungle, that's 2017. Spider-Man Far From Home, Spider-Man 2. Come on, let's get. It's not gonna make it. The Three Stooges.
Great. There we go.
There's no way Sony owns that. Godzilla. Men in Black. That's not Sony though.
No, it is. Yeah, Men in Black is.
Is it?
Yeah. I know that for a fact. Yeah.
Sick. Screamers, Jumanji, Anaconda, Zorro. Okay. Urban Legend, Baby Genius, Stuart Little, Hollow Man, Charlie's Angels, Final Fantasy.
And upcoming movies.
Triple X.
And upcoming movies like the Uncharted movie that's coming out.
Yeah.
The HBO show, although it's on HBO, so maybe they have the rights for it. We don't know what the deal is going to be for the Last of Us TV show.
Yeah.
The upcoming Horizon Zero Dawn movie that's coming out.
Yeah.
So these are all things that the PlayStation has.
There's some big ones here. James Bond, they've got from Casino Royale to Spectre. 2006 to 2015.
Did they not just publish it, or is that did they actually?
I don't know, but you would assume if they had access to it or anything involved in it, maybe this would be on there.
Anyway, let's say they have decent movies and whatnot. At least some that you might want to watch, right? Yeah. And of course, the much-awaited Venom 2 Carnage is coming. We're all waiting for that with bated breath. Yeah. How do you feel about this, especially if it being included in a PlayStation Plus benefit?
I think making PlayStation Plus more appealing, because look, yes, PlayStation is a games console, right? It's for gaming, but it's also an entertainment thing. It's a family. I think that's the thing that makes consoles so good, is they're not just gaming machines, right?
They sort of spread out in your living room, don't they?
They at least for me, it's my main entertainment thing, whether it's movies, watching my movies like on Blu-ray or streaming or playing games. So I kind of like the idea. I don't mind it, especially if it's rolled in and there's no price hike, right? If it's just something that Sony already has access to and they can easily wrap it up and add value, great. Yeah. I will be pissed if it increases the cost, because I don't care about Sony movies enough. And if I wanted to, I'd buy them on Amazon or whatever. Like, I don't
Yeah.
I don't want any extra price. If there's no extra price, I'm all for it.
Yeah, there's two parts of this that makes me a bit worried.
Yeah.
Is when you add a new service to something, logically that increases the cost of that service. So does it increase the price, or does it cut into the profits, which allows you to do less with that money that you get? And PlayStation Plus has been fantastic, where there's been a number of games that come out day one and they're free on PlayStation Plus. And it's like, great, fantastic. Or a game that maybe you was kind of interested in but didn't want to pay the full $70 for, and then you go, there it is, that's free right there. It's always been great, and I would hate for them to include this service into it and then go, because we've lost all the money from potential revenue sales from this, we now have to take it out of the profits of PlayStation Plus, so we can't afford to do that stuff. Which is the same sort of ideas that I have with Game Pass, where like the money needs to be equal flowing and whatnot. Yeah. And some people don't understand that for some reason. They're like, oh, but it's Microsoft. Don't worry about it.
They only
it's how business works, right? That's not how business
it
works. Exactly. So that's my thought and worry there. There is another worry as well.
Okay.
And this is probably what a lot of people are thinking, even though they're not strictly related.
Yeah.
Do you remember last episode we spoke about the supposed counterpunch that Sony have been working on for Xbox's Game Pass?
Yeah.
People assume because it has the PlayStation Plus name in it that this is the counterpunch.
Okay.
It could be, it might not be.
Yeah.
However, I feel like this isn't the same thing.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
If Xbox is given with right jabs and then you walk over to the coffee shop and pick up a coffee, that's not that's not the same thing. This is video, like, one's gaming. It doesn't make sense.
What people don't understand is that like Netflix competes with, say, like Hulu, but it doesn't compete with Amazon Prime Video because they're different services. Because with Amazon Prime, you get the shipping, Prime Video as well, where you can also, what you can't do on Netflix is buy a movie that you want. You can do that with Amazon Prime because they have access to the movies. So those two things don't compete. And in the same way, it kind of feels like they're adding a thing that doesn't compete with Game Pass into PS Plus. PS Plus. So it's don't get me wrong, it'd be good if it's no additional cost. I don't think it's relevant to competing with Game Pass. But it would be good if it's free.
I as I said, I hope it doesn't affect the bottom line. I hope it doesn't affect things going forward, because but the thing is that how can it not? It's an added cost. It has to, right?
You could say, if you said movies will come to this 2 years later or a year later, or however you pick a time space, and then whatever data they have is like the big injection of the money is like in the first 3 months. Give it time, and then we'll just show people the movies for free, which will get them thinking of our name and good entertainment, right? And then it front loads because people know about these great Sony movies, and then when they hear, oh hey, Sony's involved in this thing, I'll go and see it. Or if for some reason they can't see it, they know that they're going to get to see it. And how do you get to see it? We have PS Plus.
See, this is that's a good angle.
Right.
That's a good angle. Now it does incur losses because there's potential ways to make money that you're not going to be making. But that is a very good way of doing it, and it's a limited loss. So like, whereas Game Pass, and my big problem is that they're paying money to their developers, they're paying money to other developers, they're paying money to servers, they're paying money out of the arse every single possible angle. And the money coming in is like trickle. With this, at least it's their own movies. And the cost to losing their not getting the thing for them is a potential loss, but the actual loss of the cost.
They don't have to acquire movies.
Exactly. So it's their own stuff. So maybe if they build up the name enough,
and they already have servers, right? And the difference between streaming games and allowing people to view a movie is it's actually way less.
Exactly.
You know, like
it doesn't matter about the response time, stuff like that. If they can get it to a point where it's like,
also they're using Microsoft servers as well, which is great servers.
And they go, PlayStation, of course. And of course, when you get the PlayStation 5 and you get the PlayStation Plus, you get all of these games. You get every Sony movie. When a new Sony movie comes out, like Horizon, the new Horizon movie, it comes out day one on PlayStation Plus.
Well, one additional thing as well.
That could be awesome.
How many... I bet it's not a lot, but I bet there's a bunch of PS4s that are in use that people are just playing their solo story games, and they don't need the PS Plus stuff. Well, if some great movies are on there, maybe let's say there's 2 million PlayStation 4s. They're just the people don't use them to go online, so don't get PS Plus. Why do you need it? You don't need it.
Yeah.
But some great movies come out, and they're on the PS Plus stuff. You get it included. Well, I'll buy a month of PS Plus just for the movies.
Yeah.
Right? Like, suddenly you got 2 million people paying you $15 a month at least once that weren't going to buy it before, right? Or were waiting for their PS5 to spend the money, but now there's movies to watch. Oh, and hey, there's God of War on this thing, and there's Horizon on this thing, and what's this? And oh, hey, Ratchet 2016. You know, like, it could work. I think it's better poised than as it still is not a Game Pass counterpunch.
Yeah.
But as a value add to just include some more stuff, where it's just like, man, you get this and this and this. Oh, and there's movies as well. Yeah, it's great.
This does make more sense now that we're talking about it and putting it out there. Because I was a bit in the camp when I first started. I was like, it's just an edited thing and it's not games. Why would we care?
But they own the titles.
And that
don't have to worry about the server responses. You know, it's just
exactly.
It's just got to be an outgoing. That's it.
And it explains a lot more now why Sony have got this fixation on making movies with a lot of their IPs and whatnot. Because we was like, why? Just leave them as games.
Well, especially
leave them as games.
The thing is, like, Uncharted, that's really tricky. Yeah. That's very thin ice starting out because it immediately competes with Indiana Jones. Yeah. The game's already the game itself. So, like, how do people like the casting and what's the story and which story are you telling? And
it's
like,
got big shoes to fill. Big shoes to fill. And now they're coming out with Horizon Zero Dawn and whatnot. And I imagine they'll do something with another future IP.
Horizon's going to be an easy one because they don't have to worry about any character development.
You got to rig in, guys. And that maybe explains why there's such a focus on it, because maybe if they have this idea, then they bundle it in. The one thing that I don't understand about this, and no offense to everyone, like, you know, the Polish gamers out there, but why is this something Poland? They're starting in Poland?
I have a theory.
I don't know if they went, all right, guys, we're going to search the entire globe. And everyone who's a fan of our movies, fuck, America hates us, UK hates us, China hates us, Japan hates our guts. Every other, even the European countries hate us. Yeah. Poland, however, these guys are going to give us a real litmus test to the rest of the world.
I have a theory. And that is that Poland's got a relatively small population. Yeah. Like, in comparison to any of the major like European countries, like France much bigger, us much bigger, Germany much bigger, right? And I don't know, but I would presume that they're more, because Europe tends to be more PC gaming anyway. Yeah. So I bet there's not a huge amount of PlayStations in there, at least not compared to the UK or Germany, right?
Maybe it's good enough, but not so much that it's be overwhelming.
Right, they can get a good, let's say it's like 2 million. Yeah. I don't know why I keep picking 2 million, but if there's 2 million PS4s and 5s there, then they can say, okay, that's enough to get a sample size. Are people interested in this product? What movies are they watching? Because imagine you have 250 titles, but people only watch the same 50, can scrap 200 titles. You don't need to worry about space, right? So they can get data without it having to roll out to their full 110 million consoles.
Yeah.
So maybe that's it. But I definitely feel like we get done dirty. Like, the UK seems to get done real dirty with a lot of this stuff, and it sucks.
Yeah. I wonder if we could use a VPN.
But then won't it all come up in Polish, though?
That's very true.
You're okay.
Yeah. Well, I only understand a couple of words.
But Adriana speaks it.
Yeah, I was going to say, she's going to stand there translating for me.
Except it'll all be in Polish, won't it? That'll be the way I would do it, is I'd have all my movies Polish audio only, no subtitles. So that people can't do that.
Yeah. The thing is, how are they made in the first place? That's the thing, right? Is it easier to go and retroactively put that in there?
Surely if it's streaming from a server, you can just choose what options people have, right?
Surely. I mean, Netflix does it that way. Right. So, yeah. Anyway, that's the thing that's happened right there.
Interesting that we've spent a long time on movie talk, not gaming talk.
Well, because we love movies so much. It's a movie club. So that's what's happened right now. It's been officially confirmed by Sony that it's a test service launching in Poland today. No word on any other regions yet. We might get more information as the weeks go on, or maybe as soon as we're done recording, it'll be like, yes, available everywhere else. But right now, it's a free service available for PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5 users. So
it'll be interesting for sure.
Also, one other thing I wanted to mention, there's 45.9 million, there's the last recorded number, PlayStation Plus users out there. So if you do add a big benefit like that, where people watch movies and they're like, oh, I can get any Sony movie. Say they recently struck a deal with Disney to have all of the Spider-Man movies that are in the MCU over on Disney Plus. What if that deal also included we can put it on our service? Yeah,
why would you say you can't have your own movies on your own service?
It depends on how much they paid, right? Yeah. Disney could have easily flexed that Disney D.
They got the cash.
Exactly. So maybe, we don't know. But if that was to be also on PlayStation Plus, the MCU Spider-Man movies, great. Why not? Right. I mean, they only really need the original, the Sam Raimi one.
Of course.
Spider-Man 3.
The greatest.
The best out there. But there we go. So that's what's happening right there. There is a little bit more PlayStation news.
Okay.
I'll just find it because I did have the window open. Here we go.
I'm always confused why people think we're Sony ponies. But
I don't know either. I don't know. By the way, Xbox Game Pass is shit. Don't buy it.
You don't have to buy it. You can just buy Doritos.
Exactly. Oh, do you want to hear something fucking hilarious?
Okay.
So you know how I've been talking about the cost and the amount of people how many people have paid for Xbox Game Pass?
18 million users. No. How much you making?
Exactly. Recently, I think it was yesterday, there was a tweet put out by Xbox saying, as of today, it's 23 million users. Great growth.
Well done, yeah.
However, again, they didn't say how much revenue. They didn't say how many people those for paying. And I found out last week that there is a way that you can get 3 years of Game Pass for $1.
That's actually worth it.
That's what I said. So me and Dan were talking. I was like, I might actually have to go swing on that deal.
This is ridiculous because
there's no money coming into the service.
So what we're saying is, for $1, you could now, because you have an Xbox One downstairs, go and play the Master Chief Collection. You can play anything on Game Pass for 3 years for $1, and that's going to be included in the 23 million users on Game Pass. Like that. Also, that's not pro-consumer. That isn't pro-consumer because you can't afford to produce a good product.
Exactly. It's all just money going. It's just red. Anyway, that I just wanted to bring that up.
Yeah.
The next story. This was just announced. This is hot off the presses. So finally, we're getting news that we could talk about.
Hot off the penis.
Hot off the P right there. PlayStation and Firewalk Studios announce a publishing partnership for a brand new original multiplayer IP.
Firewalk.
A triple. They're not I don't know of them per se, but the people. I think it's a brand new.
I know that name.
Firewall, are you thinking? Firewall is a game. See, you don't know. Anyway, I've read the blurb that they've written out. This is by a guy called Tony Hsu. Sorry if I'm butchering the pronunciation.
You definitely
of that. Are. He's the studio head of Firewalk Studios, and apparently the team is made up of ex Mass Effect developers, ex Call of Duty developers, ex Apex Legend developers.
These are a few of my favorite things.
Guitar Hero, BioShock Infinite, Destiny, a bunch of really big games that were very, very successful.
Oh, I'm thinking of Fire Warrior, which is an old school like PS2 Warhammer game.
Right. Okay,
cool.
Yeah, nerd Warhammer game.
Yeah, it was a very strange one. It was good fun.
And yeah, you guys can. So I might put a link in the description for you guys, where he posts out everything like their passion for the studio, because right now it's unannounced. There's no name. There's no nothing. All we know is a AAA budget, a multiplayer IP. Yeah, that's all we know. And the way that he talks in here is like very passionate about gaming. He's saying like the reason why we used to stay up 2 at 9 playing Phantasy Star Online late in the night with a group of people on a server, and how our neighbors used to show up at our New York City apartment to complain about noise, but then bring them in to jam Rock Band together. I'm like, these guys seem like really passionate developers.
That's the sort of stuff we've done. Yeah.
Exactly. So I'm like, do you know what? I'm looking forward to this. As of right now, no information. It's very interesting though. It's going to be a multiplayer game, something that's the section of the Sony portfolio that's very empty.
Very lacking.
So it's good that they're filling that area.
We've been saying we need a Sony FPS.
Yes.
So this could very well fit it.
It could be.
With those devs, like Mass Effect, the combat and that's good fun. Yeah. Apex has, I would say, the most engaging movement and stuff in the space. So
I'm very interested to see what they come up with.
It'll be very interesting. We know literally nothing about it, although we know about as much, if not maybe more, than Elden Ring.
Exactly.
So
exactly, guys.
Looking forward to it, guys.
Looking forward to it. Game of the year. This is what this one's going to be. The thing that I wanted to highlight about this is just that it's it's very contrary to what we heard last week, where Sony were not taking chances. They were only focusing on big budget blockbuster games.
They're not taking chances. Get fricked, Bend.
Bend, just Bend.
But these guys,
it seems to be a personal vendetta against Bend. What did Ben do to them? What did Ben do?
Who knows?
Utterly disrespected. Anyway, that's what happened right there. Will be very.
I will say that what you said about what the developers were saying about like noise complaints and things like that.
Yes,
sounds very humanizing. One of the things I kind of worry about for a lot of devs is that they become game developers far more than they are game players. Yeah, we mentioned Call of Duty, the zombies mode.
Yes,
and the thing about that, why it was so good, is it was one developer's like passion project that ended up having the whole office playing it.
Yeah.
Right? And it turned this office of game developers into game players, and then they included it in the game, and it's one of the most sought after parts of the game. And that's what happens when you have people that love gaming as much as making games. And so I'm hoping that that's there, you know?
Hoping.
And, which is not to say that I expect game devs to be any good at gaming, just that they love it, you know? And instead of, and this is our beef with a lot of games journalists, is they're journalists, they're writers who are in the gaming space.
Yeah.
Whereas we are gamers who are in the like talk about gaming space. Not that we're game journalists, but you know what I'm saying, like
enthusiasts.
Right. And so the idea that these guys had their neighbors coming over to complain, they're like, no, I know it's loud, but like come in and try it, and then you'll understand.
Us, you know?
Yeah. Like that. If as a group of people they have similar things, or they remember like playing one more game at 9 o'clock and then it's 3 a.m. and they have to wake up in 3 hours for work, right? Like we've done that multiple times. Like with that as part of your culture, I think you're probably onto like a good group of people for it. So it sounds interesting, and also they will have the right experience. Mass Effect, Apex, like these are great titles,
great names to be putting on your CV, right?
Faux show.
And now I've got one more sort of important piece of information, but it ties into one of the original topics that was going to be talked about on the show. I'm hoping I'm going to do this the right way for it to be discussed. So I'm going to go with first the news. PlayStation have officially put out a statement to say that they are not going to be closing the PS3 and PlayStation Vita stores after all. They're saying that you're going to continue online functionality. You can still purchase games from the store.
Right.
So that's not going away, and everyone can chill except for the people who want a PSP, because that store's still closing. Fuck PSP, we don't care about that. But the PS Vita still lives, PlayStation 3 still lives, everything's gone back on that. They said, Jim Ryan said, we've heard what the gamers want, the typical bullshit. It was like, we've heard you guys, we know exactly what you want, we're bringing this back, guys. And that's the news on there. Now that leads into the story that the topic that last week Diogo wrote in. He wrote in about the he goes,
before we read his topic, because it's very meaty, I just want to say I'm curious how much of that internet noise was just people being salty, and if the PS stores are going to see the same or increased sales, because I doubt it. I personally doubt that there's many people that are buying anything on the PS3 store or the PS Vita store, right? Or that will increase or continue. I just think people are like, no, you can't take this away from us. Like, I haven't used my PS3 in 10 years, but what if I want to? I want to have the store there. But they're never going to plug it back in, right?
That's it. I'm on the side where I like to play new games, right? I always say I prefer new games over the old games. Every now and again I might dabble, but very rarely. And that's my thing. We may be not in the camp that we wanted to constantly play old games like these people. But again, I don't think it was going to be enough. And them keeping the stores open, there was probably a reason why they wanted to close it in the first place.
No one's buying anything.
Every month we're writing a check out to 2 developers for £10 because that's how many sales were put through on the PS3.
It takes more man hours to write the check and get it out there than we make from
that is a reason why. They didn't just turn around and go, there's many people playing this, fucking turn it off, turn it off, guys.
You wouldn't.
That's not what they did. But anyway, that's what was going on there. Now, a whole thing started to brew on the internet, which I want to talk about with you, because I don't think the two things are too closely related, but I think the person who started this fire said the correct words and caused this thing to go even further. So Diogo writes in, he goes, on the topic of Sony removing the PS3 and PS Vita and PSP stores also means that you can't even play games you own, which is just a huge slap in the face. Not 100% correct there.
I was going to say, because that is definitely controversial.
If that was the case, that would be what it is. But what it goes on to what the guy's video is. He linked me to a video and I watched it and explained it to you. He goes, I wasn't aware of this before, which is why I didn't hate it as much, but now I'm just livid. And when it happens to the PS4, because this same system that he's going to talk about happens to be as well, it means you won't even be able to play games on your disc. Anyway, he links me to a video. The video basically is all about a little battery that's inside the PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5. Yeah. This battery is responsible for keeping the internal clock of the console. Yeah. For those of you guys that don't know, when you do when you hack a system, you also mess with all kinds of things inside the thing. You revert it to an older time before there was a patch and stuff like that. Yeah. And usually you have to mess with the internal clock to do that. And that's how you hack into a system and then get pirated games and things like that. Right. What happens is when you play a game, the game checks that the console is running at the correct time and date
when it's supposed to be. Yeah.
Exactly, with the PlayStation Network.
Yeah, because otherwise, the first thing it does is, are there updates which fix things that are going to make you not like my game?
Exactly. Right. Now, if it can't connect to the PlayStation Network, if you're offline or whatever might happen, maybe the PlayStation Network is down or something like that, it then pings back saying cannot connect. What's the internal time? And if it hasn't been messed with, if it's correct and everything's okay, the battery should say this is the correct time. Yeah. Everything's hunky-dory. Continue playing your game. If for some reason there's an error, the battery is dead or your internal clock is fucked up somehow, it locks the game and you can't play anything. It's sort of a DRM sort of thing to stop people from hacking stuff, right? This has been present in all kind of consoles. It's present in...
It's literally never been an issue for anyone that plays games sort of and continues. Yeah.
Exactly.
A lot of people don't even know this exists.
Exactly. It's totally like that. And it's happened in the past where this battery is fucked up and it causes people's consoles to die and then they have to go get it fixed. Yeah. For people that
Quite rare that happens anyway.
For people that know how to fix consoles, it's replacing that battery. It's not a big deal. Or some people send it to Sony and that's that. Now... people got up in arms because they thought that turning off the ability to purchase games means that you can't play games anymore.
But they were making it so their PS3 or Vita or whatever could not access the store, and therefore if it cannot access the store, then you cannot access any data from like downloaded games or any of that stuff.
Exactly. Yeah. This guy in this video says it very carefully. He says, if for some reason your PS3 cannot access the PlayStation Network, then it will cause da-da-da-da-da and goes on. He doesn't say the closing of the PlayStation 3 store causes the PS3
right.
And that's where the confusion is there, Diogo. Now,
Diogo always with the bad opinions. John Walker Stan.
In the future, this will happen. They will close the server.
Eventually.
You can't run it forever.
No.
It will eventually happen, and this will be a thing. Unfortunately, this is part of like protecting games and stopping piracy and stuff like that. Although it's not a huge problem. Like no one's ever faced this problem. There's maybe one or two people.
There's not a lot. Also, there's things like you can't. I'm pretty sure you can't play The Last of Us, as an example, remastered on a PS3, only PS4 and above, right? Yeah. I doubt anyone wants to play The Last of Us when they could play The Last of Us remastered.
Yeah.
As an example. Yeah. Only Harry, as far as I can tell, wants to play these old games all the time. He's our friend
Harry, really into vintage video games.
It's not really an issue. It's caused a lot of confusion, and I think the biggest thing for me is I doubt Sony make any money from keeping those stores up and running. No. I really doubt it, and I think it's just a lot of people making noise on the internet, knowing that it all works. You'll continue to be able to play everything you can play. There was a lot of people saying you can't take this away from us, despite never intending to do it. This is why, for example, I think as a general rule, don't ask people, would you like merch? We made merch designs and said, here, you can buy it.
Yeah.
Right? Because if you ask people, let's say we have 100 viewers and we say, who wants merch? Everybody says, yeah, we want it. And then when it comes to be bought, we order 100 t-shirts and only 10 get them.
Exactly.
Instead, you say, who wants merch? Okay, here give us your orders, and then order the number of things, right?
Yeah.
Because otherwise we'd order 100 t-shirts, only 10 people would want them. because that's the way conversions work. So, people say they want things, but very few, a much smaller
actually do it. Actually,
right.
Yeah.
And I think that's the exact same with the internet.
I think it is. And I think what happened with this as well is that...
By the way, we have merch. It's linked in this.
Buy it now, please. It got amplified because it came hot off the heels of the Sony Bend issue where like, we're making a remake, we're doing this. It seemed bad. It seemed bleak.
Bend got fricked.
And
so
they did.
Yeah.
And then we got the news that Sony, PlayStation are closing down the PS3 stores, and we're like, oh, we're losing everything. There's no backwards compatibility issue. And then there was the news that this is the same system that's in the PS4 and the PS5, and it's going to affect all of these games. When really this was all normal up until now.
Normal stuff.
I will say there was a subsection as well, and these people are idiots. You don't want to listen to these people. There was a subsection of people that were using it as console war fuel. They were like,
Microsoft will never do this stuff, backwards compatibility, Game Pass.
Microsoft will never do this kind of thing, nothing like that. And
they absolutely have done that.
And the person
they've done that.
The person that
hold on.
The person that figured this out, the person that came up with this thing and said, "Oh, PlayStation doing this," came out afterwards because people were coming to him saying, "Oh, Xbox would never do this. Microsoft love us," saying, actually, it's the exact same system on Xbox, except it's not a little battery which is easily fixed. With Microsoft, it's irreplaceable, unreversible, and impossible to fix. So that's way more egregious if you are going to get mad about something that isn't even a thing. You know what I mean? So anyway, that's how that happened. That's right there.
Silly. I will say one thing though: the PS3 is kind of, and this is where Sony kind of gets away from things. So, like, you know how the PS5 has this very proprietary new way of doing everything architecture for its SSDs. The PS3 had this very interesting, the shit code.
Yeah.
And so the PS3 store and the PS3 games are different. You know, not like PS1 to 4 and 5. All make sense.
Yeah.
Right? They're very easy to port over across. The PS3, that is a totally different thing. Do you see my accounting?
Yeah.
The PS3, that store and those games are not like easy to be backwards compatible. It would be very difficult to take a PS3 disc and put it into a PS5 and have it read it properly. Whereas a PS4 disc into a PS5, or even, although you can't do, I'm pretty sure you can't do this, PS1 disc into a PS5.
No.
But that would be an easy thing to fix, or an easy thing for it to be able to do. But the PS3, it's a whole new code. It's totally different. It was totally proprietary. It was a big factor in why the 360 was better than the PS3, despite not having... Actually, it was in its heyday, so the 360 was freaking amazing. But like, the PS2 is an interesting case, but this is just the way it goes. And like, no one complained that the PS1 wasn't attached. The PS2 store, is the PS2 store still up? No, it's down. It's
definitely down.
Yeah, like the PS2
it has limited connectivity anyway.
But the PS2 did have a store, and that hasn't been around for a while. You know, so
this is a lot of people talking about something that
they never used anyway.
I understand game preservation. That's the biggest factor. That's the only one that I hear people say, and I'm like, I'm with you on that. I understand because
it's like history. It's like classic cars. I want classic cars to be on the road. Exactly. I want to see them and see them at car shows and stuff. Yeah,
and I want to be able to remember this for years to go, and also see how far we've come from games and stuff like that.
I want people to play Time Crisis
and then go
from back in arcades.
That's awful, and now it's an implant in my head.
Right.
I want to be able to see that.
Yeah.
And I get that Sony's really lacking with their backwards compatibility. There's just they're not investing enough, and it's not a priority. They're prioritizing other stuff. But this wasn't a big thing to be moaning about. People are very much. The only thing that was bad, and Sean tweeted this to me, is that they didn't tell their developers that this was happening until it happened.
Yeah, that's rough.
The PS3, no one's developing for the PS3 anymore. But the PS Vita, Colin Moriarty bought a dev kit 2 months before this news came out to develop a game for the PS Vita, and to find out the same time that we did, he didn't find out any earlier than this, same time we did, that the PS Vita store's closing down in a couple of months. How bullshit is that?
That sucks. PS Vita dev kit cost. I'm just curious what one of those costs.
Is the price out there?
Well, I mean, he bought one, right? You have to be able to
he bought one from Sony, though.
Oh.
Yeah. He bought one from Sony for development purposes, so it had to be official.
Okay. Apparently it's 15 grand.
Whoa, that's
PS3
something.
certificate's going to be affordable. I don't know, man.
That's mad.
Actually, well, I don't know, man.
In the scale of game development, it's probably not that much, but yeah.
I don't know. Maybe that was off. I just may have read the wrong number. But it sucks to not give any warning for that. Just saying, we're taking it down. But then also, the PS3, no one's developing for that. No, I doubt even the people that could code for it then can still now. You know,
especially when you...
It's a dead language.
Oh, do you know what?
It's ancient
I really
Greek,
want to make a game. I'm not going to make it for the super easy PS4 language. No. I'm not going to make it for the brand new PS5. No. I'm going to go back and make my life hard. Right. Go to fucking PS3.
Right. Exactly. It doesn't make any sense. It's stupid. But Diogo's question extends, right? At least, is that all of it? I'm pretty sure.
That's all of it, yeah. Oh, wait, no, there is another bit, but I was going to save that for later, a little discussion.
Okay, that's
about
fine.
the price thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to save that for a little bit later.
Yeah, get fricked, Diogo.
Fuck you. Anyway, there was one more. There's more PlayStation stuff to fucking talk about. It's never ending with PlayStation.
Well, at least we get news. There's nothing but just disappointment from Xbox.
Exactly, just disappointment all over. So apparently, this is there was a deal with Sony and who the guys that make Village, Square Enix.
Yeah,
Square Enix to apparently keep Resident Evil Village from being on Xbox Game Pass.
Okay.
So they paid Square Enix money to keep Resident Evil Village off of Xbox Game Pass.
Okay.
It's very, very interesting. This is apparently leaked documents, so take it with a pinch of salt. It could be false. It could be anything like that. I mean,
Sony historically has a very tight relationship with Square. So, maybe.
I could believe this, to be honest. And it's a good move. It's a good defensive move, isn't it?
Yeah.
You could just sit back and take the punches and then have another game go to Game Pass and have more ammunition for everyone. But you could do what PlayStation's doing here. Now, it's not taking the game out of their hands.
Yeah.
But it's not allowing Xbox to have more ammunition against you.
Yeah.
Which I'm okay with.
Also, it means that they have
Dan's listening to this and he's like, fucking PlayStation, they took my free game.
Well, there's two things. One, it means for every game that they actually purchase on Xbox, they have to pay the full amount. It can't be a one-off deal that ends up net not being...
That they paid 3 years for $1.
Right, exactly. Also, and here's the thing that could be interesting...
Yeah.
This is the potential silver lining, is it means that Sony recognize a threat.
Yeah.
Which, from everything we're seeing, as of right now, with what we know as mainstream information, Xbox is not a threat. Right now. Sony may well have... Well, also, because I think Sony can have a look at their own numbers and then make projections.
Yeah.
Which we can't, and we don't have a team of analysts and accountants and stuff. They probably have and we also know what it took. They know exactly what it costs to make exactly how many PlayStations they're going to make and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And so they can probably extrapolate a much better model for what Microsoft have from, they could probably guesstimate the revenues and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And maybe because they do speak to dev houses and knowing which ones shut them down and say we've already got exclusivity deals and stuff that you can't talk about and we can't mention yet. Like they may know that there's a threat coming from Microsoft that we aren't aware of, and that could be a silver lining because I do desperately want a very strong Microsoft because otherwise you end up with a Sony that turns Bend away from making good projects.
Exactly,
and then it opens up for this brand new, and it could just be Ben made a shit pitch though because these guys, Firewalk, they're brand new. They haven't made anything, although they have a good team.
That's the idea that. I think even myself, I could admit when I've done this, I think we've all sort of looked past the possibility that maybe they just gave a shit pitch.
Yeah. Or just didn't have a good... maybe the project they wanted sucked.
Because, and I'm going to... Hindsight is 2020.
Yeah.
At the moment, at the time I was heated. Now I'm a bit more relaxed.
Yeah.
They said no to their project. They told them to help out with The Last of Us or this Uncharted project, this new Uncharted project is coming out. And then they immediately said, we don't want to be absorbed. Can we be taken off the project and start our own project? And they said yes.
Yeah. Also,
so it kind of seems like that the original pitch was shit and that maybe that this was something.
Also, again, in the post-nut clarity, they said no to their project. And then what did they do? They put them on Uncharted, one of the biggest titles. Do you know what I mean? So that's some trust.
Yeah.
And then Ben said, we don't want to be absorbed. And they said, cool, we trust you to make stuff, do this other project. Do you know what I mean? So I think maybe it was just a shit idea or a bad pitch. Maybe.
What's really crap is that, I mean, I've played it recently, Days Gone, so I can say I enjoyed myself. And there's a secret ending to that as well. There's like an extra little bit, and I'm like, I was at the edge of my seat. I was like, oh my god! And then it ends, and I'm like, you can't just leave it here. You can't do this, Sony. So maybe that's also fueling the people who wanted the.
Right, you're a big fan of Days Gone. So.
I love Days Gone. It was really good. And I want to see Sam Witwer in more games. That's what I want to see. So
he should be in more things.
He should be in all the things. All the things.
He should now voice Troy Baker.
Yes, and forget Troy Baker. That has been. Fucking, I know you're listening, Troy. You has been.
Come on, Troy.
Just get over.
Not
there
even a true gamer.
With your gorgeous hair and gorgeous suit that I see you on that podcast with Alana Pierce and whatnot. You fucking, who even cares about you? But what you said as well struck me as well. What you said that we want a strong Xbox so it can cause a strong Sony.
Yeah.
This offensive is the best defensive attack that they've done right here. Means that Sony are on the ball. They're getting back to being. They're not relaxed. They're not going to be complacent. So maybe this is a good thing. Maybe this is good right here.
It is good also because it kind of does look that way actually. Because mentioning Firewalk, it is plugging the hole that we've said. They are missing a fast-paced first-person action shooter.
Yeah. Well, which is all we said was multiplayer.
Well, yeah,
AAA multiplayer. We assume it's first person.
We assume it's a shooter. Because most multiplayers tend to be that, or they're like
multiplayer
those
lens to it, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's kind of the way you go. Don't get me wrong, there's plenty of multiplayers that aren't, but it's kind of what we're assuming. If that is the case, that's good news, right? Yeah. And it means that regardless of how well Xbox is actually doing, that Sony aren't gonna ever sleep. They're not the rabbit versus the turtle ever, and the rabbit or the hare gets far enough away. Falls asleep because it's got this lead and then the turtle gets past it. They're just going to win the race. They're just going to keep going and go until they get where they're. So, which I think ultimately is good, right? Even if Xbox never picks up the slack, but Sony never notices, then Sony just gets stronger and stronger. And even if you're an Xbot, you can just end up on Sony with great stuff, you know? So it's all good. Plus there are still like contenders out there. You got everything on PC. You got Nintendo. Yeah, Pokemon Snap immediately just smashing everything that's on Xbox.
Everything, just literally laying.
Oh, you got
waste
Game
to
Pass
whole
with
Microsoft.
Pokemon. Shut up.
Shut up. That's right, Dan. Dan's the only one that I pick up because I know he's a bro. I swear to God, anyone else would be like, whoa.
Also, he can make a fair argument in Xbox's favor.
That's the thing. I think smart. That's the problem. If anyone else would be like offended and whatnot, but he's the guy that could be like, actually, good sir.
You said this about PlayStation, but you were incorrect because 5% more people use this service on Xbox, which is good. Also, I think he has both. He likes both. He sees the pros and cons in both. And there are pros to Xbox and there are cons to Sony. Not many, but they are there. Yeah. I want them to be good. And I think also he gets that as much as we rag on Xbox because we want them to be strong and they aren't because they're either making bad moves or they're being lazy, not because we don't like Xbox. I love Xbox. I think if Fable comes out and it's amazing, that would be good. If Halo Infinite comes out and it's more polished than Halo Infinite, that will be amazing, right? And if they develop something else, if they realize that even if it's late, right? Even if they're late to the game and people have moved away from the third person action RPG, but Xbox makes one to contend and it's good, even if it's late a bit, and it's not what people are calling for, that's still good. Good. So that's what we want in it.
Our next story is a part of an interview from Jim Ryan. It's, I guess, an interview after all the stuff that came out with Sony and stuff, like people's questions on whether or not Sony's going in the right direction. What are they working on? Are they even looking to new games, or are they going to stick with the ones they've got? Jim Ryan apparently is saying that there are more exclusive games in the PS5 generation than ever.
Oh, this is hard. I'm looking back to... never mind. Sorry, I yawned a bit and I realised my hand was getting in the way. I'm so sorry.
Jim Ryan's saying that the PS5 generation will have more exclusive games than ever.
Okay.
Which is really good. He's saying that...
That's good.
It's a whole interview, and I'll summarise some of the bits he says
I
here.
bet that includes PS4 titles, though, you know?
Possibly. I mean, you know, that that's the one thing I really am still salty about. That they started off going, we believe in generations, we believe in a clear cutoff point.
Yep.
And then they succumb to the peer pressure that Microsoft caused, and that's one thing that Microsoft can put up in their CV. We held back next gen gaming. That's what yes, guys, we did it. I mean, because now they're not dedicated games for PS5. Granted, not many people can play them because not many PS5s out.
That's the thing. I agree with you. We're both on the side of there should be generational gaps. It makes sense.
Yeah.
And it holds back games if they have to be developed. If you have to develop a PS5 game and then make it work on a PS4, it's going to suck, right? You have to develop them simultaneously, and then that doesn't work very well. It costs too much money. But it just, because of 2020, it does not make any sense to only do PS5 titles.
Yeah.
Although we'll get numbers from Ratchet and Clank, which I hope are good.
I hope so too.
What did the last one do?
I'm not sure.
You read your thing.
So, Jim Ryan, in this interview, I'll summarize a few of the points that he makes just here. Speaking to Nikhail at VGC, I think it's VGC, yep, exactly. And he basically lays out that he goes to explain that the company has bolstered its exclusive lineup with past mergers and acquisitions, such as Insomniac Games. He uses that as an example. And he says, we will not rule out that option in the future, i.e. they're open to more acquisitions of companies in the future, which is good. It means more companies, more IPs and stuff like that out there. He also goes, it's important to provide software that fits the Japanese gaming community as well. People were worried that they were scared that they're just catering to Western countries and stuff like that. That's not a case anymore, at least based on what he says. And he will start long-lasting relationships with other third-party companies as well. For example, like Final Fantasy 16 that's coming out, and Forspoken, all these other games that are coming out, which is actually really cool to hear that there's still good things going on in Sony. I guess the proof will be in the pudding,
right?
When the games start flowing and when we get to see what's going on. Then we'll know, but right now it's words. We can't really trust words.
Exactly, you can't trust corporate pandering, right?
But you can trust Phil Spencer, though. You can trust Phil Spencer.
Well, he's pro gaming for the gamers for games.
Exactly.
Gaming.
He said gaming 3 times in one sentence, so therefore he's trustworthy. You can trust him right there.
Yeah.
Did you find any numbers for Ratchet and Clank?
Well, I found the first game from 2006, and that was here we go. Ratchet and Clank, I think this is 2016. Hold on. It disappeared now. I found the list and this stupid ad popped up. Where is it? I think it said... that can't be right. Hold on. Keep talking.
Okay. There's... The only thing that I'm worried about is that he's just saying what needs to be said so people aren't mad.
Yeah.
It's... Because he didn't say anything very specific. He was like, we've done acquisitions in the past. Yeah, we're open to doing that in the future. We want to make our Japanese gaming audience more happy.
Yeah.
How? No one even knows. It's a tough one to say right there. Oh, and one other thing as well. One thing that is really cool. PlayStation... a play-at-home initiative.
Yeah.
They have said that there are going to be more free games coming to that PlayStation play-at-home initiative.
Yeah.
They haven't said what games yet, but apparently there's more. Could it be another like Horizon Zero Dawn game? Could it be like... Everyone's looking for Spider-Man. That's what they're looking for, really.
So I did find numbers for Ratchet and Clank.
Go on.
Think the last one was 3.7 million copies.
Okay.
And in total, the franchise has sold 26 million.
Okay.
So knowing that, it'll be interesting to see how many people buy it on the PS5, even though it's a significantly lower number of PS5s out there. But it's the first game that shows off the PS5, so it could be a little bit higher.
Yeah, there's 2 things. There's that it's a first PS5 game. You're going to be able to check that out. And then it's a Ratchet and Clank game, which isn't really everyone's game. Some people see it as like a bit more of a kiddie game and whatnot. Yeah. So there is that. And then there's the low number of PS5s out there. There's like 2 out there somewhere.
Yeah.
I put out a
15
tweet
in someone's garage.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I put out a tweet saying, "Is anyone like hype levels really like good for Returnal? Like what's going on?" One guy was like, "My hype levels are 0 because I don't have a PS5."
Yeah, you would think with the number of PS5s out there.
Yeah.
And presumably there doesn't seem to be a huge amount of shift. Like it looks like the scalpers got most of them and then have not have not managed to sell too many of them.
Yeah.
So like,
which I admire. Guys, stay strong. Don't buy from scalpers.
Yeah, diamond hands.
Exactly, diamond hands.
But you'd think like the scalpers would come down to a little bit above what they bought them for. But I hope that doesn't happen. I hope they just end up with tons of these things and eat the L in it. Just suck it down.
Thing is, it's really hard to eat the L though, because at the end of the day, they have a product that's desirability. It's not going to go away for a long time. No. It's fucking. There's no justice in the world. No justice.
They'll never lose all their money on it. It's impossible. At absolute worst, having a brand new, never touched, in the box PS5, at worst, will only ever be half price.
Yeah.
At worst, it'll never go under 250. You know, so
there you go.
That's really frustrating. So frustrating.
Yes. A couple little stories to wrap up. Apparently, the talks between Discord and Microsoft have ceased. There's no action going on there.
I was going to say good. I don't know how I feel about good, but
I only think good because the thing that sparked Microsoft to even inquire to buy Discord was my comment on Twitter saying I would like there to be Discord integration with a PS5.
Yeah.
And to spite me, they went and they had this whole conversation. So now that's a possibility. It's on the table again.
Right. I would have thought Amazon would acquire Discord because they have Twitch.
Right.
And Amazon and Discord, I genuinely thought Discord was made for Twitch because they integrate so well, so seamlessly, and they have very similar branding and styling and stuff like that.
I think Discord have done this to themselves. They've made integration so easy and so perfect and so great that no one needs to buy them because everything already works great with their stuff.
Yep.
It's like, why would I buy you? Everything works for free.
Yeah.
Anyway, another thing, Microsoft today removes the requirement to have Xbox Live Gold to play free to play games.
That's
so
good.
Now you can have free to play games. You can do that sort of stuff like that. And
is that good?
Well, I mean, now you don't have to pay to play or free to play games.
It's
which is
pro-consumer.
It's just the question of why was it there in the first place?
Right. If they didn't get rid of it, then it could have been like you need Xbox Live to get on the internet.
Yeah.
And that's where you can get these free games because we still need PS Plus to get on.
No, so free to play games you never needed PS Plus to.
Oh, did you not?
That was one of the big draw points. It was like, oh, you want to play Fortnite? Yeah, you don't need a PS Plus.
So I never knew that, but also I was always going to have PS Plus.
Yeah.
So it never facted in.
It's one of those things.
Right.
I had PS Plus from the PS3 days.
Yeah, me too.
It's like
me too.
This is one of those guys.
And Xbox Gold Live.
Exactly, simultaneously, and then it's been a long time. Went off there.
Sad Halo music.
Exactly. Sony have apparently also patented an AI that will play your games for you.
Well, that's because they were obviously watching your stream of Bloodborne, and they were like, "This guy needs help. Professional help with lab coats and a padded room. This guy needs help."
I will help Eddie by investing multiple millions of dollars in an AI.
I will tell you this. I don't know why they did it. Yeah. This seems like an answer to a question nobody freaking asked.
Exactly.
However, that thing should not be able to earn trophies, and I'm not even a trophy hunter. You should have to...
My boy!
You should have... Well, a human being should have to earn those... I know there's people out there that get their big brother or their friend to get their trophies, right? I get that. But...
It's like Zahir. He doesn't get any of his trophies. Course. Someone else does it for him.
Or like you get carried. But a human being should own those freaking trophies. It's not okay.
It's not okay.
It's not okay. And AI should not get you the floor is lava in Overwatch.
Stop
when you're like
cheapening it.
One of 0.1% of players or less, and you got it the hard way, and then it goes to 20% because 20% of players bought the AI. It's not cool.
Not cool, fam.
So no, trophies should be man-made, earned.
That was just a little thing I thought was funny. What would be really cool is that. I mean, it would be good for James, wouldn't it?
Yes,
because he played Assassin's Creed 1 in the fastest time possible.
Yeah, he managed to be the second fastest person. He managed to play AC because he hates it. He's played the least amount of possible behind me, who's played none.
Exactly. So congratulations, James, for being the second least played of Assassin's Creed in the world behind the number one.
I love that. He says he hates the game and then goes and manages to complete the game in the smallest time possible when he could just not play it at all.
I love it, but it's branded to his name now.
I know.
It's like
he has a world record. I hate this franchise so much. Has a world record. And was super hyped to get it. And in fairness, well done. Like,
Well
fair
done.
play.
Yeah,
So like,
I really hate mayonnaise, but tonight I'm bathing in mayonnaise and
the man is a
drinking
walking
gallons of
contradiction, isn't it?
it. God damn it.
I love him so much.
And then one final thing, a bit of reminiscing. 10 years ago, as of 2 days ago,
Okay.
was when the PSN went offline for 23 days. The famous PSN outage that struck us
Hard.
deep.
Hard.
We were right in our prime of gaming. We
Yeah.
were on Call of Duty every night.
Yeah.
And we were struck
Like a
down.
month off. Yeah.
And every day we'd come home from school and be like,
Try
today
it.
it might be on.
Yeah.
No.
Try it. No. What are you supposed to do? What are you supposed to do? Because you're talking like that's 2011, right?
Yeah.
Like YouTube is there, but it ain't all that.
No.
Like
This was bad.
this
was
sucked.
so bad.
This was awful. This was our see, this is why we've done okay in 2020 because we were used to this. We're 20. Because even look in 2020, you still had gaming.
Yeah.
Right, we were in uni and had no gaming. We had to actually do our work.
We were suffering.
I still
bad.
didn't, but-
Yeah, we still didn't. Come on, you stupid.
You dumb. We didn't do school. Are you stupid?
At the time, it was proper heartbreaking. Like we
was
couldn't,
awful.
we didn't know what to do with ourselves. Like
It was awful.
We'd call each other up every now and again and be like, "So yeah, PSN's still down."
Yeah.
All right.
What were we supposed to do?
What do we do
And
now?
also, we were like, we weren't playing poker because at least we could have done poker nights.
Yeah. But we weren't. We were gamers then. We just like we're only gonna play COD online every
Right.
night with each other,
And that's
our
how
thing
we,
do
that's
with
how we
friends.
spent time with our mates.
Yeah.
And because some of us, like Amar was up in Loughborough, we're in London.
Yeah.
Like, how do you jam with your boys? You jump online. You can't like drive to Loughborough
Yeah.
for a poker night, right? Fuck that.
Man, that really
That was awful.
That was terrible. It was terrible times. And as you said, that's the reason why we managed to make it through 2020 because we suffered through already hard. We're like those old
Also,
people that were like, we were through the war. We were there in Nam. You don't know.
Right.
We know.
If you think about it, there are so many more better games now as well to play. Like even just in 2020,
Yeah.
you just had Ghost and Last of Us 2 come out.
Yeah.
You heard The Last of Us 1, Horizon, God of War. There's so many things you could have spent your time on, just gaming wise, obviously.
Yeah.
Which, for 20 days, what did we play? What did we do?
I don't know why. I'm honestly.
How
I
did we get through
genuinely
that?
think it was every day I'd come home to check to see if it was online.
Yeah.
It wasn't, so I went downstairs and was bored out of my
Watched
mind.
a movie or something.
Exactly, with the parents, and then I'd come back and check to see if it's back to. No, it's not.
Find that
no.
old New Hope VHS.
Exactly. Oh, that was the good stuff. But I genuinely think I didn't do anything
Yeah, it
because
sucked.
I don't remember playing any other games 2011. Just
It was COD. That's all we were
MW3
playing.
done.
Yeah. That's all we were playing.
oh, those times. And there's kids watching now. They're like 2011. That was when I was born.
Someone's like, why didn't you just play games on your phone?
Oh yeah. Why didn't you play Candy Crush? D, I hate you. Anyway. And there's a few other little things like Sony Bend Studios' next game apparently features vehicles and an open world. Very little information, but
So Sony Ben's making a new game.
a game. There you go.
Like, yeah, okay.
Someone made a whole article on it. I was like, guys, it's really.
So I'm telling you, these guys are writers, and they happen to be in the gaming space. They
I need to do
they-
something.
These are the guys that could always make the word count.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah. Ubisoft Forward event is going to be happening in June. Again, nobody cares.
Yeah, cool.
Nobody cares. And one weird thing as well, Resident Evil 8's demo came out, and the resolution and frame rates were announced officially by Square Enix. And it's really weird when it comes to PlayStation and Xbox's 4K, full resolution, ray tracing mode. It says 45p.
Huh?
So 45 FPS.
Okay.
Sorry, my bad.
That's still very strange.
And I'm like, 4K, 45 frames per...
Why?
First of all, because the thing is that when you say 30, it's because there's a cap on 30.
Yeah.
When you say 60, it's because there's a cap on 60, or you're aiming for 60 and one. When you say 45, are you aiming for 45? Anyway, I looked at the Digital Foundry thing, and apparently it's like... There is a one instance where it drops to 45, and they wanted to give the lowest number possible.
Okay.
And I was like, yeah, but
Learn to flex.
And the most of the time it's running 60 as well. So I'm like, why did you... even the guys in the Digital Foundry video, the David Letterman and the other guy, I can't remember his name, they say, with a little bit of fine tuning, maybe scaling back on just one or two little things or something like that, maybe a dynamic resolution, you can lock in 60 FPS and it'll be fine and everyone will be cool with it. And the game looks gorgeous and everything like that. And I was like, 45 frames, why did you even write that?
That's a very strange thing to do. A lot of these companies don't seem to understand how to present this stuff. I think someone said technically it's not 60 FPS the whole time, so you can't advertise it. That was probably bad advice because functionally it is. Also, I don't know how I feel about that game because I don't like horror games, and I also don't know how if I would play a game where I'm just attracted to the thing that's trying to kill you. You know, like
I'm very attracted.
You're supposed to be running away from her. You know, and how's that gonna work? Right? I don't want to run away. I need to find out. I have questions and they need answers.
Do you want to know what's really...
Do you know what's going to happen is you're going to get caught and she's going to murder you brutally. It's going to be atrocious.
I hope she murders me softly and delicately and passionately.
It takes her time with it, you know.
There's the one scene...
Takes her time to help you reach the... which gift?
The one where she cuts his hand open and then in front of her face she pouts her lips and then drinks some of the blood from his hand. It's just proper like...
So I will say I absolutely hate that. I hate that kind of stuff. I just realised I've just hit search on Lady Dimitrescu GIF and then went to images for GIFs. And I'm not going to scroll. I'm coming off the search. That is not safe for YouTube. I'm certain of it. Everything that was there was safe, but I'm not going to risk it.
Oh boy!
Because I'm not, but I will look for these gifts in my own time.
And I'll send you the couple I've got saved.
I appreciate it. Yeah, for research purposes.
Yes, exactly. Anyway, the thing that was interesting as well that they gave all the other resolutions and stuff like that for like PlayStation 5, PlayStation 4, Pro, XS, and all that sort of stuff like that. The Series S is running at 1440p.
Okay.
45 frames per second.
Okay.
The PlayStation 4 Pro is running at 4K, 30 frames per second. Now, obviously, that's not exactly the same thing.
In those two instances, I would pick 4K 30 FPS.
Because the checkerboard rendering is pretty damn good anyway.
Also...
We have yet to see the performance on the S. Well, I want to see what that's like. If it's like the PlayStation where it's like pretty much 60, then I guess that's a good thing as well, 60 FPS. But if they couldn't get it and it's choppy, that's why it's at 144p.
The thing is
1440p. That's one.
The thing is that this is not Spider-Man. Right, where I would pick 60 FPS over 4K. It's not Ghost of Tsushima where I'd pick 60 FPS over 4K. It is a bit slower, right? It's not like all this dynamic movement, you know? Yeah. So it's the sort of thing that you want 4K over the frame rate, even though frame rate's always a win.
Yeah.
So it just bugs me that a brand new console can be compared to the PS4. That shouldn't be like even a PS4 Pro versus PS5. There's no comparison.
Yeah,
it gets smashed, and that's the way it should be. Same with the Series X smashes a PS4 Pro as it should be.
Yeah,
the fact that you on day of release could end up with a thing that performs like a PS4 Pro is mind-boggling. So it's not okay.
And people are like, oh, I need to. It's not the Xbox Series S is going to be completely fine. It's not going to hold anything back. Okay, I keep sending you the wrong link. Sorry, I want to send you a link very quickly.
Yeah, I see it popping up, but
a video that just got posted on the PlayStation YouTube channel. What the fuck? Why did it say before you continue? Can you click on that? What does it say?
Let's have a look. Yeah, it just says before we continue.
It's for a trailer for a game called Biomutant. I just flicked through. I've
seen some stuff for Biomutant.
Have you?
I've seen some stuff for it.
See, I haven't seen it, but I'm looking at it, and the art style looks really nice, and
the art looks good.
Quite cool right there. It looks quite.
It's
quite
got some kind of Horizon vibes to it.
Yeah,
which is cool.
I like the world. It looks quite big and stuff like that.
Yeah, I don't know what to make of the what the point is.
Yeah, this is very one of those games that you have to play in order to get it, right?
Yeah. It could be a lot of fun though.
It could be.
I'm definitely not saying it won't be fun. I'm saying I don't get, because I get Horizon vibes from it. I get some Final Fantasy vibes from it.
I kept saying, "Don't play the game."
Yeah, I just don't get it. Like Ghost of Tsushima, you see the primary material, you get it, right? You're a guy with the sword, you slash Mongols, done.
Yeah.
And that was a mech, like some Fallout 4 vibes. I hope it's good though. I like all games I want to be good, you know?
Yeah. Let's
Last of Us vibes. This is cool.
Let's talk about Diogo's comment that he wrote in.
Yeah.
This is a topic that he wanted us to discuss. So, I'm reading from our Discord server where you guys can write in, and he says here, are you guys hating the new prices of video games I'm actually talking about as much as I am? Since the launch of the PS5, I've bought 2 games, Spider-Man Miles Morales and Pedestrian. And that's mainly because the huge increase in prices. Huge AAA games are now £70, which is why I can't justify buying Sackboy, Returnal, or Ratchet. AA games like Oddworld, Pathless, etc. are now £30 to £45 range, which I also can't justify, and even some indies are now £25 range. On top of this, game prices aren't decreasing, which means I'm building up a huge backlog of games and will continue to do so for the coming months, whereas I plan to get a lot of games this year. It's looking like I'm gonna get Resident Evil 8 since it's not £70. Originally was gonna wait for a discount, and Final Fantasy Remake Yuffie DLC, Kenna, and maybe Horizon Forbidden West if that comes out this year. It's really disappointed me because I was expecting to get into this gen and play lots of games, and now I'm just worried that instead I'm going to be waiting for ages to play games due to their prices, plus reductions not happening as soon as last gen. Thoughts?
I mean, first things first, there's not a lot to play that's next gen. Current gen.
If we were to be brutally honest, you don't need a PS5 right
as of right now. Don't get me wrong, I'm glad I've got mine, because things like, I would actually say, mate, the loading times, because I was recently playing Ghost of Tsushima, the load times on that are ridiculous. I would actually say that they're kind of jarring. They're too fast. But you don't need it. You definitely don't need it. PS4 Pro's plenty right now. The thing about the pricing, we're in the boat that I think AAA titles need to be 70.
Yeah.
And that I know is going to rub a lot of people the wrong way. But also we're in the boat where, for the most part, we limit the number of games. We go for quality over quantity.
Yeah.
Also because we have limited time. But for AAA titles to get the cast that they get, the mocap that they do, the development that they get, make all this new headway into development and gaming and storytelling and stuff, they can't do it at the current price point.
Yeah.
Right? It just can't be done. Also because, you know, we see this number a lot, 105 million PlayStations out there. That doesn't mean a buying base of 105 million. You retain like maybe 30% interest, and of them maybe like 11 to 17% actually buy the game.
Yeah.
So it's not huge for a lot of these games. So for games to continue to get better, the price is going to have to increase. They have been discounting every year basically because of inflation. They've been £40 since the PS3, right?
Yeah.
So 40 for
£50. No.
Well, whatever. 40.
The RRP is $59.99, but you never get a game that's like that.
It's like
Same way that you're
$44.99.
not really getting $70 games. There's usually like a 63 or something like that. Yeah.
But
still, the price has gone up.
You've been able to get a game for, let's call it 40 since the PS3.
Yeah.
And the fact is, the cost of development has gone through the roof since then.
Yeah.
And so is the quality of the game.
Yeah.
And it's just not. It's going to hold it back in a way that I think isn't going to be good. But also, we're not buying 15 games a year. We're buying 3 or 4 quality bangers.
That's a good point as well. So it all depends on everyone's habits and how many games they like to buy a year, how many games they're able to buy a year. I know. No, we're in fortunate situations now where we can get a few more games if we wanted to.
Time's a constraint, but
that's our only issue right now, which is, it's always that shit thing. It's like when you're a kid, you have all the time in the world, you have no money. And then when you get older, you have all the money in the world but no time.
I don't know about all the money in the world, but definitely no time. I've got disposable cash but no time.
Exactly.
And you can help by heading over to twitch.tv/conversations and subscribing over there. At the third, what's the top tier
third tier? Is there 3 tier? I think it's 3
Yeah, you
tiers.
can be like, it's a $25.
We sound like such.
Just you can make us full-time content creators by
Yes.
clicking all of our links and buying our merch and subscribing and give us your money.
Exactly. We need new backs because
But-
this equipment we use right now is terrible.
Right. But we tend to sort of not save our money, but pick games that are either going to speak to us or are going to be incredible, right? And we don't have a huge backlog of games. Like although I used to play Abe's Odd World and Odyssey and all that stuff, I'm not going to get it.
Yeah.
It's just I don't, because I have to prioritize my time. I'm more concerned about my time than the money for the most part. So I want to play Horizon. I want to play God of War. I want to play. What else is coming? I want to play Ratchet and Clank. Returnal. I want to play Ratchet and Clank, not because it's Ratchet and Clank, although I do enjoy those games, but because it's the first real PS5 game. I want to see what it can do. Right? We bought Cyberpunk, which ended up not being a great thing, but we saved for a big game,
Yeah.
So games need to be more expensive. I know it sucks, but it needs to happen.
Yeah, it's Diogo. You're in the spot at the moment where you're old enough, you're mature enough that you can understand things, and you can understand that gaming is something that you're passionate about and want to have in your life. You're mature enough to make that decision for yourself. Unfortunately, you're in the position where you don't have the disposable cash to buy every game on the planet as it comes out.
Yeah.
So you're in that really shitty spot, and I'm sure a lot of people watching are.
Also, he's a true gamer. He actually likes to experience a lot of different games. We speak about gaming, so
eventually
we're all quality, and he goes like, obviously good games, but like, hey, this sounds interesting, I want to play it.
Yeah.
Whereas I'm like, doesn't sound good enough. I'll skip it.
Yeah. And with the price of things, like we've said a million times, the cost of games to make them are going up every single year.
Yeah.
And they're proving that it's worth that money because they're giving us quality acting, they're giving us quality capturing of emotions through computers and electricity. It's so fucking
better
cool.
Scripting, better storytelling, better visual directing.
These people that are making the games, they're getting paid better so they can make better games.
Combat.
Exactly. It's all going up. It's not like that money is they're asking for more money for giving you nothing in return.
Right.
So unfortunately, we're not on the side that you are. It does result in what you're saying.
Yeah.
Fewer games being bought.
Yeah.
And on my Twitter, when I said who's excited for Ratchet & Clank, I feel like we're all sleeping on it and whatnot. He was like, £70, man. I can't buy that. And I was like, I have no problem. I didn't tell him like, give him a whole rant. Oh, you should be doing this because supporting developers. I just said, that's your money. You totally make that choice yourself.
If it wasn't a PS5 exclusive, I'd actually say don't buy it for 70.
That's another thing as well, like, because one of the big alluring factors, like you said, is that it's PS5 exclusive, it's a PS5 game, and that's maybe what tipped me over the edge, because I said, like, today, I found that it's 4K FPS, 60 FPS, ray tracing, DualSense support, haptic feedbacks, the 3D audio. I was like, now I might be thinking about this, because this would be a unique thing.
Right.
Whereas before, I might have been like...
Because as of right now, like, you've experienced haptic feedback and 3D audio from, like, Astro's Playroom, for example. It's in there, but it's Astro's Playroom. It's good fun, but it's like kind of...
And it's so short, like 2 hours, 3 hours, what was it?
Exactly. This is the first real game that is PS5 exclusive. It integrates all of the things that we're looking forward to when we were looking at next gen, even though, like, ideally you'd want Horizon fully next gen or God of War fully next gen, but you don't have that. You have Ratchet and Clank, and this is the first game that we actually get to really do that. It's also the exact reason I haven't downloaded the PS5 update to God of War, because it doesn't have haptic, it doesn't have 3D audio. That's what I want from that update. So that's why I'm gonna get it. So I'm gonna get
sorry that you feel that way, Diogo, man. It's your
it's a
life,
good point.
Man. Yeah,
it is a good point. The other thing is, so, like, while we're also not super into retro gaming, we're also not into volume gaming. We're into not the people that play a lot of games aren't into quality, but we're more interested in playing games that we think are going to be bangers.
Yeah.
Then
that's why we don't play Assassin's Creed.
Exactly. So we can prioritize our time for these games that are going to be worth the investment of our time. Whereas if you just love to be gaming, then then volume is a thing, right? You can't play Ghost of Tsushima back to back to back to back to back, right? You need to break it up with something. I mean, I do. You can't, but I do.
Yeah, that's it's unfortunate we couldn't come to like an answer for you or something to just tell you like you're thinking wrong. This is how you need to think about it. It's a personal thing. Like you need to decide for yourself.
On
how
the
you feel
plus
about
side,
this.
on the plus side, there are new games that are coming out that are 30 quid.
Yeah.
Which is cheaper than new games have ever come out before because technically they're for previous generation. Yeah. Which means there are good, high quality, technically AAA style titles, AA titles. Yeah. You can get a pretty immediately 25% off. Yeah. You know, like Kenna's 30 quid. Kenna looks interesting to me. Yeah. You know, and it's 30. That's already a discount from what I'm used to paying. So there's kind of a silver lining there, which is for the price of one game originally, you can kind of get two, right? Yeah. So it's I don't know, man. It's an odd spot to be in, and I think we wouldn't be in this spot if there were 20 million PS5s and Xbox Series X's out there. Yeah. I think it'd be just games are 70, you get used to it.
Here's an interesting statistic for you that while there are, I think this is another vocal minority thing, because apparently Spider-Man Miles Morales, and granted that was available on PS4 as well, and there's a lot of things like that, but there was also, it was the fact that people are, it's just a DLC, it's not a real game, and it was on PS5 and it cost a lot extra on PS5 and stuff like that. But Spider-Man Miles Morales outsold Ghost of Tsushima and The Last of Us Part 2. Both of those games that are massive, they should have been absolute bangers, sold millions and millions of copies. Spider-Man Miles Morales sold more than those two games right there.
That's pretty incredible.
I have to, and you know, I'm sure.
Also, the thing that we need to consider,
making it a massive hit on PS5, it's saying it's like it was a.
Something we need to consider is that people, especially from 2020, we're still game starved. Like we had some banging years. 2017 through 19 were enormous. 2020 was actually a good year for games as well,
strangely, right?
But because we came into next gen at the very end of 2020 and up till now, we're starved because we've played everything else. So did Miles Morales sell really well because it was new, or did it sell really well because it was good?
Could be
because people are game starved, so they're more likely to spend the higher thing. So we'll have to find it honestly, and this, I hate to say this, but we'll know more in a couple of years. We can see the numbers because we're coming off the back of the pandemic. We're coming off the back of a slow start to a year where we're game starved into next gen, where there are some but almost no next gen only titles. Everything can be played on the previous stuff. It's hard to know because we haven't experienced this before. Every other console, it was a gap. Got the new gap. You can only play new games that are only on the new thing. And
you pick your game and you play for a while until the next thing came out, until Steam built up.
Right, exactly.
I want to kick it over to our boys over on patreon.com/conversations where you guys can write in to be part of the show. I'm going to actually read Joe McCormack's one first of all. He says, "Hiya boys, apologies first off for not being as active and chatty." And I'm like, yeah, bro, you don't have to be right. You can do whatever you like. You can talk to us, or we'll just cry in the corner. Don't worry about it. But be here as much or as little as you want. We still love you, bro. Don't worry about it. These next few weeks are going to be hellish with dissertations and exams, but we'll always be supporting the bros. Fucking legend right there. Secondly, I've downloaded Horizon last night because it's currently free it's free for like a month, so go and download that.
I'm gonna get it even though I hate it.
You need to.
There's no reason not to have it. It's freaking free and it is a AAA title. Like,
do you want
free.
this thing? No. Slap out of the hand.
Yeah, like it's free bread at the restaurant. Of course I'm gonna get it and ask for a refill.
Exactly. Give me more bread, please. Thank you very much. Have played a couple of hours of it, and I won't lie, I'm hooked. I also played The Witcher 3, which I've never played before, and have plenty of good gaming to look forward to. Just wanted to hear your thoughts on the play-at-home stuff. Apparently, even more games are going to be made free. So that's one thing that I mentioned before. Apparently, there's more games coming. Yeah. They already gave, like, I think it was 12 titles before, some of those PSVR titles. And then they went, bang, Horizon Zero Dawn. I was like, that's one of your big tentpole titles. And now they're saying even more stuff is going to be free. So this is amazing. I'm glad you're playing Witcher. I'm glad you're playing Horizon. Those are two meaty games.
They're very meaty, for sure.
I guess he's going to be like, You know when you finish all your exams and you're like, normally I'd go home and I'd go back into studying. And you have that, what do I do with my life sort of feeling. It's going to be
Witcher 3.
Witcher all the way through. It's just going to happen
It's going to be great. Just my personal opinion, don't get your hopes up for Horizon and then you'll be pleasantly surprised when it ends up being pretty okay. The Witcher is great though. You need to accept that it's your first title. At least is what I did. It's your first title. You won't know who they're talking about. You just play it, and by the end of your first playthrough, you'll know who everybody is. You just got to learn it through experience. You just got to deal with that. That's fine.
It's a big game. It's a lot to understand.
Huge, sick.
So don't be put off by that. I think he was in our Twitch channel the other day. He was talking. He was like, I'm a little bit like put off by how big it is and how much there is. Try to persevere.
It's so good.
It's really great.
It's one of my best games of all time. You know, I say like for me, it's like God of War 4, and then if you squint, The Last of Us 1 and 2 and The Witcher 3 are right there. Like they're almost the exact same. So I really think it's a brilliant game.
There we go.
I'm really looking forward to hearing what you think about it. Horizon's good. It looks brilliant. Yeah. Good smooth combat and stuff. Just Halo is a bit of a letdown, but other than that, like it is good, and I'm looking forward to Horizon Forbidden West.
It looks really beautiful as well. The colours and stuff like that. Real Kermit Cinema writes in and he says, "Hey lads, question with everything that's going on with Sony recently. Are you worried that they might be getting lazy like Microsoft?" And that's a worry that we had last week.
We did have that, but I think we kind of accidentally answered that through this, like them keeping RE Village off Game Pass and stuff like that. Kind of.
I feel a lot better after the stuff we've said here today, and I hope it's answered your question as well, Hbartz.
Which, just to like summarize, so keeping RE Village off the Game Pass, keeping Bend, allowing them to go onto a new project.
The new partnership they made with this multiplayer IP.
With Firewalk Studios. Like it looks like they aren't getting lazy, or at least not the way we thought they might be. So that's good. Plus potentially adding more value to PS Plus, and adding more games for the Play at Home initiative. Like it looks like they're really trying to. I mean, it's already kind of a bloodbath for Xbox, and it looks like these guys are going full Lady D, and they're like just So I think as of right now, we're not. But I mean, that's subject to change, right?
Yes.
And it is always a concern because it does look like they're very much in the lead. So we'll have to wait and see. My big concern for it will be if Halo Infinite and Fable come out and they both suck, then I really think Sony could just go, there's no point. They've got nothing, Yeah. So that'll be the big telling.
I'm gonna put out my official prediction for Halo. I don't think it will suck.
Okay.
I think it's actually gonna be very good.
Okay.
I have this feeling.
I think it'll be okay.
Yeah, you think it would just
I think it will be, unfortunately, a true 5.
Yeah.
No one will love it. No one will hate it.
Not a Metacritic 5. No. A true 5.
A true 5. Yeah. A solid. Whereas Halo 1 through 3, you must play it. You've got the Xbox One. You can get Game Pass for $1 for 3 years. Like, you got to play it. I really think you should play this on stream. They're short, man. They're short. Play it.
Dan got me, as said, he gifted me the Master Chief Collection on PC. A PlayStation 5 controller. And I intend to play it.
Do play it.
Done that
stream it as well. They're short and, like, they're so good. They're so good. So, like, do you know what I mean? I don't think it's going to be that. Yeah. I really do worry that it'll be, it's all right. And all right is not enough for a Halo game. Yeah, that's a concern. I hope you're right, though. I want it to be good.
I think it will be. That's the thing. The things that I've seen from they put up a couple of developer posts and talking about what they've done. I just get the feeling that the last showing, while every Xbox was like, that's just, people wanted it to look like that.
Right.
They wanted it to be shit. That's how it was supposed to be. It's coming back to the roots of Halo, and I'm like,
right. 2006 graphics.
It's like, shut up. And then they Xbox turn around themselves. They're like, we're delaying the game so we can make the game good. And then those people are there like,
right.
Anyway, I think that kicked them into gear, and I think they've gone back and they've done a lot. We just need to see what they've done. And I'm sure it's going to be at E3, and then we're going to be like, okay.
I hope you're right. I really want you to be right, because I don't know if you remember, but I said I know you like Halo already because I know you like Doom Eternal, and that is a very similar vibe to Halo's 1 through 3. How the Master Chief is in comparison to the Covenant and stuff. And so if they look at Doom Eternal and go, that's our competition, not anything else, then I think they will make a good game.
Yeah.
I freaking hope.
Let's pray, guys. But anyway, that's everything we've got to talk about today on the True Gamer podcast.
Yes.
I hope you guys all enjoyed another episode here. Remember, we've got a special episode
We
for
do.
you next week.
We do.
So tune in for that.
That's going to be fun.
Yeah, we'll see how that goes. And, bro, thank you very much for joining me for another episode.
Yeah.
So we can talk about some gaming. Thank you guys over there in the camera or in your ear holes, wherever you are right now.
However you consume
If
us.
you're in your car, then, you can pull up the video version.
Right, of course.
And,
like the video.
On the side of the M25, just pull over for
just
no
just stop in
reason.
the middle of it.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it is. Because if you pull over to the side, you might hit somebody.
Right.
If you stop dead, then the people
emergency
behind you will
brake.
see the red lights. And
Exactly.
There you go. That's what
That's
you
a
do.
true fact.
Exactly.
This is not advice.
Do not take advice
For legal
from us.
reasons. Yeah.
For legal reasons, do not take this as actual advice.
Right.
Okay, guys. Anyway, we'll catch you guys all in the next one. Thank you for tuning in, and thank you, bro, for joining me for another episode of the Drinking Podcast. I don't know why I did this really happy voice.
No, me neither. But like, I'm trying to go with it. I'm a professional,
That's
but
what it is. Yeah.
you are so freaking hard to deal with.
It's the lack of talent, really. It's what
It really is. I mean, but then again, that I identify with as also a talentless hack. So
that's why this partnership works.
Right.